Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If this is the first time you've joined us, welcome. I am super passionate about motivating others and telling stories, so this is what this channel is mostly about. So if you like that kind of content, please don't forget to subscribe. Give this video a thumbs up if you'd like to see more content like this. And today I am super excited because I've got this awesome book that I'd like to share with you guys. Now, just a background, a sort of background on how I found this book. So, I absolutely love Paulo Coelho, and I first knew about him from, I think, Will Smith, who was talking about the book The Alchemist that he'd read, and he was talking about how he was an alchemist and he was able to you know, in a sense, change lead into gold because he's able to take situations that are not favorable and making something out of nothing, pretty much. So I was like, wow, this book sounds really interesting. So I looked for The Alchemist, and I kid you not, from the first chapter, like, I was totally hooked. The thing that I absolutely love about Paulo Coelho is that he intertwines wisdom and knowledge and life lessons in stories, and that makes it more interesting. It's not like a dot point or, you know, don't steal or whatever. He, like, sort of writes and speaks in parables, and that makes his lessons more memorable, and that is what I absolutely love about it. So the sort of same writing style of The Alchemist, if you've read that before, that is the sort of like concept and writing style he brings into this book, Manuscript Found in Accra. So when I saw the title of this book, I was like, what? Paulo Coelho wrote about Africa? You know? But so the background of the book is actually what it happens in Jerusalem. So he sort of brings a background of the story of how the manuscripts were found and everything, because because the life lessons and the questions and everything are from old manuscripts that were found in the city of Accra. But the whole thing that happened was actually happened in Jerusalem. So what I think is, it happened in Jerusalem, and people that got out of Jerusalem started migrating to other parts, and then that's how the manuscripts ended up in Accra. So in the book, in the start of the book, it's a young man who writes it, and the young man is telling a story of the last day they were in Jerusalem. Apparently the city was under siege, and the leaders of the city were telling people to prepare to leave and depart, because there was nothing more they could do, really. The enemy was powerful, and so it was sort of like a last day kind of the whole city, the way as they knew it. And so a couple of people in the city of Jerusalem gathered together to sort of listen to this wise man who was called the Copt, who was a Greek guy who had left Greece in search of wealth and knowledge and ended up in Jerusalem. And so he had accumulated quite a lot of knowledge, had done many things, had seen many things, and so he was said to be knowledgeable in their times. And so they gathered around to listen to what he had to say. And most people that were there were, I guess, there to sort of hear the last words of the master, you know, kind of thing. They didn't really have hope, or were thinking that, oh, you know, we're gonna live past tomorrow. For most people it was like, this is it, this is the end. And so so this is where we find the people of Jerusalem gathered together around the Copt, and he says to them, you know, I don't count this as the last day, but see it as the last day which we are together, but you know, you're gonna go around the world, and the knowledge that we're going to sit down and share today, you will transfer to other parts of the world, you know, kind of thing. And so he said, instead of me just sitting and telling you what I know, how about you ask questions, and then I'll give you answers. And so that's the sort of setting of the book, and then and the chapters that follow. So in each chapter, a person asks a question, and then the Copt answers the question the best way he understands it, and the best way he knows. And from this we hear, you know, each and every person has had different fears and different expectations of what was going to happen, and so they were sort of asking the Copt, or like from their place of fear in a sense. And so like there were many topics that came up, like all very profound. Like somebody was asking, how do we deal with loneliness? Somebody was asking, you know, how do we continue from here? How do you deal with defeat? What do I do if I feel useless? You know, those kinds of questions. And like the knowledge that this guy drops, like in the book, it's just amazing. Like, you know, I was sort of slack in putting markers in this book, but like I was highlighting like a crazy woman. Like it's just amazing. And I've read this book. I actually read this book a couple of weeks ago and sort of put it on the side. I hadn't had a chance to make a video. And so like I picked it up again, and I was like, oh, let me read that book again, because it's only small. It's only like, it's not even that big. It's like 192 pages, but like it's like a tiny book, you know. So you can go through it pretty quickly, and because it's so interesting, you're like flipping through it, just like, what? Like it's just really amazing. And so like I usually like to leave you guys with some like sort of one tangible lesson of what I learned in the book. But today I'm just gonna like read to you a quote from the book, so that you can sort of get a gist of like the kind of content that you will see in this book if you decide to purchase it. So in this chapter we see a person. What was the question? Let me check. Okay, so it has like sort of like what the person had gone through, and the question they'd asked. So it says, and a boy who had been chosen as one of those who was to leave rent his garments and said, my city thinks I'm not good enough to fight, I'm useless, right? So then the Copt is answering him, and he says, among many things, then he says, the people who really help others are not trying to be useful, but are simply leading a useful life. They rarely give advice, but serve as an example. Do one thing, live the life you always wanted to live. Avoid criticizing others and concentrate on fulfilling your dreams. This may not seem very important to you, but God, who sees all, knows that the example you give is helping him to improve the world, and each day he will bestow more blessings upon it. So that kind of like knowledge, like you sort of sit and think about what he's saying, and then, you know, from that, like even all the ideas that you might have about like what life should look like, and what direction you should take, you know, what the path is supposed to look like. It sort of dispels all that and gives you a fresh perspective and understanding of the world. That's how I feel anyway. Anyway, I don't want this video to drag on too long. My camera sort of cuts at 10 minutes, and sometimes I find myself yapping on when the camera is no longer recording. I'm like, why? But you guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I would love to hear the books that you're currently reading and that you'd like me to read. Leave a comment below, and please don't forget to thumbs up, subscribe, share with your friends, and till next time, see you later.